Do you have to sound like an English native speaker to be a confident English speaker? The truth is, no. Your accent is a part of your unique story and it doesn't have to hold you back. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make your accent work for you, how to speak confidently, and most importantly, how to speak clearly and make everyone understand you. First things first, your accent is your unique story. As you can hear, my accent is my accent. It's not American, it's not fully American, I think. It's not British, it's not Australian, it's not Irish, it's not a native speaker accent because I'm a non-native English speaker and that's true. I mean, this is my story. I am originally from Poland and I can speak three languages. Polish, obviously, is my native language. I can speak English, as you can hear, and I can speak Spanish fluently. So we have that clear. I am a non-native English speaker, meaning I wasn't born in an English-speaking country. Does this make me worse? Does this mean that I cannot use English to improve my private and professional life? No. English doesn't belong to anyone. It means that everyone in the whole world can use English as a tool to live a better life. So coming back to your unique story, your accent is your superpower, my friend. Think about it. It's a reflection of your journey. It's a reflection of your story. It's a reflection of your background and your ancestors. It's a reflection of your strength because it means that you invested your time, energy, and effort to learn this language. Your accent is proof that you are changing your life by learning something new. So behind every accent, there is a story. Maybe a story of immigration, maybe a difficult story of someone who needed to leave their country because they couldn't stay there for some reason. Maybe there is a happy story. Maybe there is a story of someone who just wanted to live a better life and chose to emigrate from their country. We don't know that. So if you meet someone who is a non-native English speaker, their accent means a lot. Please don't judge people because they have a different accent. The goal of using any language is to be understood. And we're gonna talk about it later in this video. We're gonna talk about being clear when speaking English, even if you have your own accent. Let me tell you a story. Last year, I went to the US, to California, and I spent more or less 1 month in the US, traveling between San Francisco, Santa Cruz of California, and Los Angeles. And I met a lot of people, even, in a random grocery store or in a coffee shop. And a lot of native speakers asked me, hey, where are you from? And now we have two options. You can get offended because this native speaker just speculated that you are not from the US or your parents are not from the US. Or you get the second option. You can actually treat it as a wonderful opportunity to start a conversation and start a chat with someone. So at the beginning, to be honest, I got a little offended because I was like, okay, I'm doing my best to learn your American accent and you still keep asking me, where are you from? That means that when I open my mouth, they already know that I'm not from the US. But then I started thinking about it. Is it really a bad thing? Absolutely not, because what did I have to do to actually make my way to the US? It took a lot of work, money, energy, and effort, and I did it. And I did it on my own without being financially supported by anyone. You get my point. So it's like I worked for that. So maybe when this, I don't know, salesperson or a new friend that I meet asks me, where are you from? Immediately, after, I don't know, exchanging 2 or 3 sentences with me, maybe this is actually a good thing. because it shows my story, and it's a great opportunity to start a conversation. This conversation can go in many different ways. This person may be curious about my story, and I can tell them my story, they can tell me their story. So it's always about perspective, don't you think? So now, my friends, let's ask the question. Do you really have to sound like a native speaker? I think you already got your answer. The answer is obviously no. You just need to be understood. Your communication has to be clear and easy to catch by others. That's our ultimate goal. That's the goal of any language: communication. There are so many accents. Of course, there is an American accent, the accent that I chose and I try to master. But of course, you can still hear my Polish sounds sometimes because I was born in Poland, and Polish was the only language that I spoke until the age of 19. 19. That's pretty late. I went through an American accent training. I'm going through, actually, because it's a process. Sometimes, some Polish sound slips, and it's okay. I mean, I try to work on that. I really do my best every single day. But okay, it happens. Like, it's not the end of the world. So, of course, there is an American accent, British accent, Australian accent, African accents, a Scottish accent. Oh my God, there are so many accents. Even in the US, there are so many accents. Like, there is the Southern accent. People speak differently in California and in New York. And I remember when I was 19 and I moved to Manchester. Oh my God, dear, I talked about it in many of my videos, but I got extremely terrified because I was 19. My English was really far from being advanced, to be honest. And I moved to Manchester and I was looking for a job. I didn't understand the accent because in Manchester and in Liverpool, there are really specific accents that you really need to get used to. And oh my God, that was really stressful. But I managed to find a job and I managed to work with people from Liverpool and Manchester, which I consider a personal win. So you and I, English learners, can't learn every accent and be really good at it. What I would do if I were you, I would stick to one accent. This is what I did, basically. I chose that American accent is my go-to. It's your choice, but if you are at the beginning of your journey, or maybe you are simply lost and you don't know if you should learn British, American, or Australian, or maybe Irish, just calm down and write down your priorities. We already talked about the goal of a language, and it's obviously communication. So we need to make sure that we are clear. As you can hear, my accent is still kind of Polish. Sometimes I make mistakes, that's true, but I think that you understand my message because I learned how to communicate myself clearly. I learned the sounds of a language. So here you have various options in reality. You can go through accent training, which is what I'm doing. I'm learning American sounds and intonation, rhythm, pronunciation. These are very important things. English and any other language, it's not just about vocabulary or grammar. It's about the sounds. So for example, look, when I speak English, my mouth opens really wide because this is how Americans speak. There are a lot of sounds like eh, ah. You just need to open your mouth. In my native language, in Polish, there are a lot of sounds that are like sh, j, ch, g. The sounds in my native language are pretty, like closed and like up here. But American English is more from here, and it's big and it's open. This is what I had to learn in my journey. This is what I'm still learning, because as I said, it's a process. Now it's finally time for me to share a wonderful tool that I use every single day to improve my accent and make sure that I'm being clear when speaking. And it's of course the shadowing technique. It's a really fantastic tool. So the shadowing technique is basically repeating after native speakers, is basically copying native speakers. So imagine that you watch a movie or a show, something that you would watch anyway in your free time, and then you listen to a native speaker saying a sentence. You pause and you repeat exactly what you heard in real time. If one sentence is too long for you and you get lost, make sure to repeat one word at the beginning, but make sure to repeat it many times so your facial muscles can really remember different movements. Before I mentioned that there are different sounds in Polish language and English language, it means that when I was born, my face learned how to pronounce Polish sounds. But my face, my muscles here, there are a lot of muscles here, and this is a very big and important muscle, didn't learn the English sounds. So now you need to basically reprogram your muscles. It takes time. It takes energy, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and you need to be consistent. But you can do it. Remember, we don't strive for perfection. We just want to make progress and be understood. So the accent training or the accent reduction training is your choice. But make sure that you shadow native speakers. Even for 5 or 10 minutes a day, you're gonna see that it's gonna work wonders. Making mistakes is a natural part of our lives. A sip of water. Everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes, a lot of mistakes, every single day, not only in English, but I make mistakes in my business. I make mistakes in my personal relationships. I know that a lot of us, myself included, when we were at school, we were taught that we can open our mouth only when we are right, only when we are sure that we are not going to make any mistake. But that's BS. I really was terrified of speaking English because I was so afraid that everybody is gonna laugh at me, that the teacher is gonna talk me down in front of my classmates. And it happened, like it was really traumatizing. I was basically bullied in high school for my English because I was in a very advanced group for a reason that I'm not gonna talk about right now here, a long story, but I was in a very advanced group and my English was intermediate. And yeah, they were making fun of me and they were laughing at me and it was terrible, but most probably this is why I am here, if I think about it, because I wanted to show people that you don't have to be perfect. From my experience and from the experience of my clients and many of my friends, we learn by making mistakes. And these mistakes tend to be the best life lessons. Own your accent, own your story. You are from your country. Let me know in the comments your opinion. I really love to chat with you. If tips from this video resonate with you, I invite you to join the Fun English community. This is the community that I created. We meet on live Zoom calls for a speaking club to practice your speaking in a safe space. I post a valuable lesson every single day in our Telegram group. So if this sounds like something you would like to be a part of, click the link in the description and I'll see you in. Give this video a thumbs up to support my work. And if you are not yet a subscriber, it's for free. So why not? I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.